Housing crisis after COVID. What am I talking about? We'll talk about it in a minute. Hey there, this is a KGME Realtor with Fairfax Realty, where we help buyers to buy their dream home and sellers to sell their houses. And we do this in the Maryland, DC, or Virginia region. So if you're looking to buy, sell, or move into Maryland, DC, or Virginia region, or move out of Maryland, DC, or Virginia region, contact us below. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you get updates once we upload a new video. Thank you. So, housing crisis after COVID. What am I talking about? I'm not talking about housing crash. No, I'm talking about housing crisis. So what I'm talking about is what crisis are we likely to see after the COVID restriction have been lifted. I see three crises that we may potentially see. So the first one is equity stripping. The second one is affordability, which really is ongoing right now. And the last one is probably higher uh, rates of homelessness. I'm going to talk about it in a minute. So let's talk about equity stripping. So, everybody knows during the COVID, at the height of COVID in 2020, many people were afforded the opportunity to do mortgage forbearance because they lost their job, and a lot of people did take advantage of that. Millions took advantage of that. And according to the report that just came out last month by CoreLogic, say most people with high credit score and middle income have already been back on track making their mortgage payments. That means they're no longer in forbearance. But most people that are still in forbearance are low income people and people with low credit score. So these people are vulnerable to lose equity that they've built up over the years in their house. So anyone that took forbearance last year or this year probably have equity in their house, because if you bought your house 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, you have equity already built up. But if you're still in forbearance, and then once the forbearance is over, you're likely to lose those equity if you don't get back on track to make payments. If the mortgager has to do foreclosure, you will lose those equity. So that is serious issue, equity stripping, right? The other vulnerability is for people to be taken advantage of, to be targeted by people that wants to really take advantage of people that are vulnerable. And this always happen and continue to happen, but it happens more during housing crisis like this. So what happens is they will let you know, they will work with you, work with your lender to stop foreclosure. Sometimes they do, sometimes they do not. But one important thing is, if you have to give up your house because somebody wants to help you, that means sign over your deed to them and they will promise that you will rent to you back, you're probably going to lose that house. So if you know anyone that may be vulnerable, and this always happens to low income and minority and older people that already built a lot of equity, one thing you can do, if this is you, you can definitely make sure you talk to your lender first. These are the first people that you want to talk to. Secondly, you want to talk to a non-profit housing counselor. Very, very important. You talk to non-profit housing counselor. They can guide you and let you know what you can do. And lastly, if you have to exit the house because you cannot make up the payments, then you may want to just sell it rather than let it go into foreclosure. Because when you go into foreclosure, all the ones that you've not paid and late fees, it will eat up your equity. So don't let that happen to you, equity stripping. The second crisis that I see is affordability. With the house prices going up, even middle income people cannot afford a house because the prices just continues to go up. And this is an issue, not just for low income people, but even middle income people cannot afford a house that they want. So, but what can you do? What you can do is, if you're really interested in buying because the interest rate is low, you want to expand your horizon. You don't want to be just where you are. You really want to expand your horizon, and you should not be looking for that perfect house. There's no perfect house. You want to look at a house that is, you can really grow into, but not the perfect house, because there's no perfect house. And one thing I found out is the most common house styles are the ones that get more offers and overbidding. So you want to look at the ones that are not common style. right? And lastly, the other crisis is homelessness. Yeah, once the eviction or moratorium is lifted, a lot of landlord will be going to court to evict. So although it's going to take a while because the courts is going to take their time, but it's going to happen. So what you think you can do is, if you're in that uh, place where you really are not in a position to pay your rent, we may want to work with your landlord to come to a resolution, to exit, or to start making payment arrangement. But do not at any point in time think, well, I'm just going to take advantage. It's going to affect your credit. It's going to affect you being able to rent somewhere else again. All these things are records that will follow you wherever you're going. And the rent rate is actually going up. If you're renting now, you understand that as just the price of houses are going up, the rent to rent also goes up. So it's like no win situation. So to avoid homelessness, work with your landlord. Really, work with your landlord. If you cannot really pay, then exit gracefully. Look for an apartment that is maybe smaller that you can afford. So these are the crises we're talking about. I'm not talking about housing crash because the value is there, continue to grow up, continue to increase. But this crisis, equity stripping, affordability, and homelessness are what we're looking at once COVID is over. But don't be a victim. Be proactive. Do things to protect yourself. If you're a homeowner and you're in forbearance, check your mail. Do not just don't check your mail because they will send you mail notices. Check mail notices. Because you're not checking it does not mean things are not going on. Check it, read it, understand, and don't sign anything without you knowing what you're signing. Always get a second opinion. All right. So if you're looking to buy, sell, or move in the state of Maryland, DC, or Virginia, contact us below and take care of you. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And please drop me a comment so that I know if you need any question, have any question. Drop me a comment. Ciao.